No, she is not pouring olive. What is that? Baby oil?
Get that. Get that. Take that. Take that. Look at here. I got me a bottle of baby oil. $1,000. I got to moisturize my skin because it's about to.
You
Can't
get hot up
nobody
in here.
hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on moving. Yeah.
It's a hot mess. He's in a
Okay.
world.
Before we get to
He is
that,
in the
we got
world of trouble.
listen. He done, but we'll get to that in a minute. I just had to start off with the pouring of the oil to let people know that baby oil's still on them shelves, y'all.
You didn't buy all of them? He didn't buy all of them?
Christopher.
1,000 bottles, though. 1,000 bottles. Over 1,000 bottles of. Like, you would never want to run. 500 bottles is too much, but 1,000 bottles.
Was it like in separate homes? Like 200
I
in this
don't
home,
know,
200
but
in
all I
this
know is that
home,
was greasy.
150 in
going.
that home.
He was
Like
going to be greasy.
it's an I don't even understand it, but you know.
A little bit of me is kind of petty and like, Chris, how the hell, come on, you didn't go to one?
One what?
You about any Diddy parties?
One of them freak offs, or not the freak offs, but the Diddy parties, because apparently
No
Diddy
one's
parties with
trying to
Diddy.
invite me to a Diddy party. Shoot, I ain't getting
I
no.
know. I mean, that was the party. I mean, I'm pretty sure that like in the daytime, you know, I mean, when he had those parties in the Hamptons, there are people who probably missed the big stuff that were able to go.
I would imagine you have to be in an inner circle or have something to lose too. If he's videotaping everything, and you know he's videotaping everything.
Well,
Because
Denzel Washington said he gave an interview like a while ago, and somebody asked him about the Diddy parties. This was before this all came about, and he was like, "I know what time to leave." He was like, "I tell," and
exactly, that's what I
couple of
mean.
other actors like Michael B. Jordan, and I think I forgot who else, but there was like a couple of other black men, prominent actors that were like, we spoke to Denzel, and oh yeah, we went to the Diddy parties, but Denzel told us, when it hits this time, go
This is when
home,
you go.
because that's when it gets disgusting.
You need to skedaddle.
But before we continue on talking about that, because there's a whole lot to unfold there, Chris, tell us about your escapades this weekend. Oh, I feel like
Friday night, Friday afternoon, I get a phone call from my sister, and she says, "Are you in LA?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "Grab a suit and meet me at the Waldorf Astoria at 5:00. And I'm singing 3 songs, and you're going to meet number 44, the President of the United States,
which is
always will be my President of the United States, Barack Obama." So I met my niece Sasha and my nephew Devin, and we went to the Waldorf, and then we went to a former ambassador to Spain and a decorator. These 2 men who I'd been to their house. I think it was like 7 years ago, 7 8 years ago, and I think it was an Ebony or Essence, or I think it was an Essence party or something that was there. I believe I was probably there because of my sister, or someone else invited me. I forgot, but I've been to the house before. It's a beautiful Holmby Hills, Beverly Hills. They have all these events there. Beautiful house. They're lovely men, and they host a lot of fundraising events, as well as fundraising events for Kamala. And yeah, so we went to the house, and we were there early, and we took pictures on the back, it's beautiful. Like, this is the backyard.
So
The idea of the backyard.
oh my God, that's amazing.
And
So
that's Sasha.
let me ask you this. So everybody that was in attendance knew that.
It was $50,000 to $250,000 a plate.
I know, but so they all knew that Barack was going to be there, hence why they paid that money.
Yes, that was
Okay.
it was his first fundraising for her. His first fundraising event after the debate.
So give us the dish. How was the food?
So
Amazing.
it was okay. I mean, food was okay, but this is my superhero photo.
You loved it.
I love that one. That was my favorite.
Isn't that cute?
Love that.
Devin
Sasha
wants to
looks
call
amazing.
us. Devin wants to call us Jen, or 3 generations.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't make sense.
Jen. Oh yeah, no, Jen.
He thinks Jen sounds better than 3 Gen or Gen 3.
No, I like
or
that.
whatever. She
Is it
like
3
she
generations?
wants to read
There's
my.
only 2.
I know, that's what I said.
Oh, okay.
And that doesn't make sense. So, but also it's a millennial, a Gen X, and a Gen Z.
Okay, got you.
So 3
right.
gens.
Mm-hmm.
Sasha reads minds. She's a mind reader, and this, that, and the other.
Oh, I'm gonna be
Devin
in her
wants
mouth.
to have powers like Superman.
I'm
He
gonna be in
wants
her
to
mouth
be.
in
He wants to be.
December.
What?
I'm gonna be right in front of her in December. Like, look at me. Read my future. Read my mind.
So Devin wants to be like have all Superman's abilities, and I wanted to at least fly and be invisible.
Oh wait, you're talking about what you want your superpowers to be. I thought that she really read minds.
I said 3 Gen. This is our superhero. That's what I started the whole thing off with, by saying this is our superhero pose. That's our superhero pose. That's
a
3
great
Gen.
picture now.
Yeah. Anyway, and then Vanessa sang 3 songs. She sang on her new album. It's good. Being good is not good enough, which is a nice song. She sang "Save the Best for Last," and she sang "Happy Days Are Here Again." So the evening started. Everyone was milling around. Conan O'Brien was there. Jennifer Coolidge was there. Rob Reiner was there. And then
Boston boy, you should have told him your girls are from here.
And then Microsoft people that obviously
had money.
Oh, and I remember I met the representative from Tennessee those 2 guys got kicked out.
Yeah,
One of
I
them,
saw him.
Yeah, he was there, and he goes,
Justins. It's
representative
both
from
of them named
Tennessee.
Justin.
What are you talking about? What?
Both of their name is Justin. There's Justin Pearson, and I forgot the other Justin's last name.
Oh yeah, Justin. So he's from what?
I said, watch that tone now.
He's from. Let me finish my story. He's from Tennessee.
Yeah.
He's a representative of Tennessee, and I said, "Oh, my great-great-grandfather was one of the first representatives in the House in Tennessee." And he goes, "What? Where's he from?" I said, "William A. Fields," and he goes, "Shelby County." He's like, I represent that district. That's my district I represent. So my great-great-grandfather is the same, and then for another 100 years after my great-great-grandfather was ousted because of they made it all white, there was not another black representative for 100 years.
Okay, he's not the first though.
No, it wasn't. I don't think he was the first. But
Okay.
He was an educator. He wrote stuff, and it's all in the Vanessa's. Who do you think I am? You can watch that NBC. Anyway, so that was kind of cool to talk to him, because he's got a lot of energy. You can tell he's one of those young upstart.
Because he's like early 30s or
29.
mid-30s.
He's 29. Yeah.
What was I doing at 29? Babies.
Having babies.
That's it. Wow, that's impressive.
So then he was there, and then So what happened was everyone sat down, and then they introduced Mr. Obama, and Mr. Obama talked for
President Obama, thank you.
President Obama. Sorry. Oh, first of all, there was a meet and greet. You want to get your picture taken, so we got in early, and he's not taller than I expected, but he's a little taller than I expected. He's about 6'1", 6'2".
Yeah, he's like, I think he's 6'1".
Yeah, he's 6'1",
Mm-hmm.
but he's clean, like a nice black
Mm.
blue suit, open collar, tan as a motherfucker.
Yeah, they've been
Just looking
vacationing this
relaxed.
summer.
And he came in and he says hi to Vanessa, and he says hi to Sasha, and he says to me, he's like, he didn't say I know you. He was like, oh yeah, oh, like I know you, kind of like nigga, you don't know me, but anyway. So he's
You
like,
just called,
and
you
then
just
Devin,
called the president,
He
Ben.
did. He
because
did.
I can call, he's my brother.
I will slap you when I see you,
Right
sir.
in the
Well,
teeth
finish the
in
story.
December. We got double smacks coming in
So
December.
he was like, asked Sasha, and he's just such a dynamic.
He,
I mean, the burden of responsibility that he has in general, of just being, I mean, obviously being the president of the United States, but just being what he represents to Black people, to people in general, to people who have hope, to what the United States was when he was president. It's, I would imagine, such a heavy crown to keep on your head. You got to be smooth and nice even though that's who he is, all the time. Just everyone is an individual. He's gracious to everybody. He's not an asshole. He was just, man, I was like, man, he's just a man. And so then I shook his hand. We all took pictures. I didn't get an individual picture. It's a picture of the family, which is fine. And then,
That's good
and then we
enough.
go, huh?
I'll take that.
Right. And then, we waited for everybody, and then we sat down, and he spoke for about 10, 15 minutes.
mm-hmm.
And he was just talking about, he's like, I didn't think I'd be having to do this. I thought I'd be working on my foundation on the beach and hanging out. But here I am again. I raised money for Biden. And he's like, and I think she's going to be fantastic in what she represents and how common people are. And he goes, did you see that SNL? He said, did you see the SNL skit when Tom Hanks was wearing the Make America Great Again? He was on Black Jeopardy. And
Yep.
he's like, hey, you got to see this. You got to see this. He's like, because it's just common to show. He's like, how he said, I like big girls. He's like, like big girls. He's like, yeah, I like big girls. He's like, how we all still, there are overlapping things that we as Americans all like. That was his point. Like, even MAGA Americans, there's things that we can overlap and like one another, and you have to come together as a collective as opposed to, being separate and using anger and fear and all that kind of stuff. He broke that down. He was just why he was doing it, raising money for her, making sure that, she had the proper support, and raising money and how important it is. And just watching the brother speak, I was like, that's just, but he's so thoughtful. He takes his time.
He thinks
He's
before
very thoughtful with the way he approaches
Yes.
things.
Yes.
And everything is, one thing about her, he's very measured. And
Mm-hmm.
everything that comes out of his mouth is very specific and pointed. But I was like, watch, I was like, he is a masterclass in how to give a speech, how to make people feel good, how to make people feel inspired. He's like, so I'm doing my best, I'm doing my extra. I didn't think I'd be doing this right now. We all have to do our extra. We all have to do extra stuff. I'm doing mine. I didn't expect to be out of here either. I don't want to be out here. I want to be doing my foundation and writing books and doing my stuff. But they got me out here, and I'm going to be doing my extra. Everyone has to do extra. Whatever else you can do, whether it's campaigning or raising money or something, you got to do extra. So that's what I need from you all. I know I'm preaching to the choir here because I know you all, and then he took questions. Then he had a Q&A. Anyone ask me anything? And one woman stood up and was like, I run a foundation for widowed women, for widows, and there's 300,000, and he's like, okay. And he's like, he took it in. She's like, well, we need more awareness, and he was like, that's not really a question. He didn't. He was saying to himself, okay, that's not really a question, but yeah, I think we need more awareness and this, that, and the other. And like one woman, another black girl stood up and she's like, I do tap dancing for raising money and contributions and this, that, and the other for kids and blah, 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 blah. And he's like, well, I think that's me,
No questions.
Bitch.
And then someone asked him a question about, I forgot what that, but also so bad. I'm literally, the brother's 5 feet from me.
We saw the picture.
We also got where you sit, and like, oh, you can just sit over here, so we sat on the couch, and I got on the end, so I was just like, so he's like 5 feet in front of me watching him, and I'm like, it's just bigger than life, really. He really is bigger than life. He really is.
He was the president of the United States. You can't get bigger than that.
But it's more than that he was the president.
I know, but at the end of the day, it's like, bro, this is who he is.
If you go to a speech with like George Bush, Clinton has it too, because I've seen him speak. I've seen Obama speak. And like the first time I saw Obama speak was when he was running against Hillary. And that was, in the primary. And I walked out of there and I was like, I'm so sorry, Hillary. I had been phone banking for her. That was my girl. There was nothing. And that one time after hearing him, I was just like, I gotta go with him. I gotta go with him. He's dynamic.
I identify with him. Like as a black man to be he's like, I didn't expect to, ahead of time, probably not my lifetime. I didn't expect to be president, but and now we have something else that's coming about. And I was like, it represents so much to so many people, and he's so dynamic, and his word is like,
that's
great.
why I feel like Kamala really is going to win. I feel like it's going to be a blowout. I'm trying to be, meditated on it, but it just seems black man after so many years. And it just seems like a black woman coming right after, in between.
One of the questions was that the girl had, she's like, I see a lot of young black men who are voting for Trump because the machismo or whatever. He said, well, Trump gave us a STEMI check. And she brought up that, and he's like, well, and she froze her eggs and she's like, I wonder if he's going to take these away from me. And he's like, well, first of all, you got to get rid of that brother because he doesn't deserve you. And you get better.
Oh, the guy that she was dating was saying that?
Yeah.
I believe a lot of these people who are actually saying it are probably not even registered to vote. Another thing, they're probably in those states where it's going to even be harder for them to vote. But also what we need to start focusing on, the percentage of men that actually voted for Biden was like 80%, and there was like that 5% that, did not vote or were not registered to vote, and they were doing all the cackling. Those numbers are still small. But the media likes to focus on that negative to get you scared, to keep you hyperactive, to keep us separated and fighting, because it does. Because when you see, who was it? Pharrell came out just this week and he was just like, he doesn't get into voting. He doesn't talk about it. He listened to other celebrities talk about it. He just want to say, shut your mouth. You don't even know what you're talking about. That's another way to course division between us. So I believe, like, you think about that 3 to 5% that actually did vote for him, it's probably going to stay in those same numbers. I do not believe it has increased. But the noise that you hear, if we didn't have social media, we wouldn't even know all about this.
Right.
But social media actually pushes. Whenever I go to not Twitter, the other one, not Threads.
Oh, Thread.
No, the other one
X?
that they they said they're gonna take that Twitter. No, not Twitter. The one that they're
X,
gonna get rid of.
TikTok.
X.
TikTok. Whenever I go to TikTok, I go in, I get like 3, 4, 5, 6, pro Trump stuff. I block all of it, keep going. But why do I still why is that still in my algorithm when I don't even open, I don't engage with them, but I block them all the time. And they're black people, but I block them every
Oh.
time I see it because that's what they want me to see. No matter how many times I block it, whether or not I never engage.
Mm.
Never engage. So that's what they want me to see, and that's what I'm going to keep. So then I'm going to, in my head, I'm like, look at all these black men. That's all they're doing. They're just voting for her and blah, blah. We just had a black man for Kamala, and it was big numbers and big money. But
The
yet,
white man for Gamma too.
right, I'm just saying, but I'm
Yeah,
talking about
are you getting
that group
Republican things
before.
too?
The narrative is always going to be these black men because they're the easier group to get out there, and because a lot of like Tyrese, very ignorant. We talked a little bit about like even what somebody else said. We'll get into that earlier. So it's easy to pick and Lil Wayne, pro Trump. So because like, well, look at these guys, and we think it's all of us, but it's not. It's
No.
not all of these black men. It's still a small number.
But let me just say this to Pharrell.
He's so disappointing. I never liked him,
I
but
listen. I'm not gonna say I never liked him.
I never
I don't
did.
know the man as a
Mhm.
person. So, but I will say this: I liked his music. I liked the songs that he produced back in the day. As a producer, what he did for his craft, fine. But it's like now you are the face of Louis Vuitton, and you have number one, the audacity to say that celebrities, people in the public eye don't have no business speaking on politics or what have you. Because at the end of the day, you're still an American citizen. You're still a human being. I don't care who the fuck you are. You have a voice. Number two, that's just the regular shit. But the one that pisses me off the most is, Pharrell, what you should be worrying about. If I had an opportunity to sit across a table from him or sit in his face or bump into him in the streets of Paris, I would say to him, how about black people with money that frequent the Louis Vuitton stores on the Champs-Elysees, been there, done that, and get looked at? I'm bright as hell. But walk in there and get looked at, followed. There's a family that goes to Paris every year. All you got to do is go on TikTok and find the videos. There's a black family that goes to Paris every year, and they got their money right. And they go to the Louis Vuitton store on Champs-Elysees, and the last time they was there, they got refused service and was basically thrown out because it was like because of their skin color. Had nothing to do with their money that they had. This is why I will buy a purse off of Amazon, off of TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Target, no name shit before I walk into any boutique at this stage in my life and give them my hard-earned dollars. Because I'm sorry, I'm confident in myself that I can walk into any event and with people that are 10 times, 100 times richer than me and still hold my own with my fucking Target purse.
I hear that. I hear that. So Chris, wrap up the event.
So you have the question question answer, a couple nice questions. He's just so dynamic. It's just, and then he's like, "Thanks for coming." Vanessa sang her songs. Then we had a little buffet, and I ran into some people who. It's funny when you just randomly talking to people, and you, not that you don't know who they are, but like there's a really nice guy and his wife, and they're black woman, and they're very. I don't know if I've met them before. I feel like I've met them before, but I don't know if I met them before. And she's like, "Hey," and hi, and to him, and then I'm like, and I realize it's Nicole Avant and Ted Sarandon. You know, the chairman of Netflix and the former ambassador to his wife.
No
He runs
idea.
Oh,
Netflix.
because isn't his wife black?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah.
she was former ambassador to the Bahamas, and now they're like the top team for fundraising and stuff like that. They've raised like for like hundreds of $1,000,000 for
Go Netflix.
Biden, and
Go Netflix.
yeah. And I was like looking at them, I'm like, it's a nice, really dynamic couple, but really playing off each other. White woman, white man, black woman. It was nice to see, how they fit together and stuff like that. It was nice.
That's good.
What you rolling your eyes for?
Woo! So,
Listen
Love
to
is
me.
love, baby. Love is
So
love.
two things.
oh God.
I'm gonna answer your question why I rolled my eyes because I watched Origin yesterday, and I don't even want to have this discussion. Number two,
Is it a movie or it's a movie, right?
The
I
movie,
watched
yeah,
both
yeah.
of
Wow.
them.
It's powerful. I told you you gotta gear up for that.
And listen to me. I watched the movie, and my books are coming tomorrow. I literally, as when the movie ended, I was in the fetal position
It's hard.
to the point where I was like, I can't leave my house and go in the public because I won't be right I'd be looking at people sideways. But I went on Amazon and I bought the Cast book and I bought the Deep South book. So they're coming tomorrow because that's gonna be my Cayman reads. Oh, I know people go on vacation and read lovey novels. I'm gonna be sitting right there with my book, like Deep South.
This is the book I'm reading now.
Hmm?
The book I'm reading now.
Back it up, back it up, back it up, back it up.
Yeah.
Close to you.
A
Yeah.
Fever in the Heartland. What's that about? Oh, the Ku Klux Klan's
Oh,
plot
wow.
to take over America,
It's
and the women.
really good.
Text me that.
It's
Text me the cover,
really
and I'm gonna order that too.
good. Another con man. It's the parallels between like a Trump and this guy, deep.
So, all right.
Is
So
it
that
is it
was
a
that.
novel, or is it a biography of these women, or is it a true story, or what?
It's a true story. Yeah, no, it's history. It's actual history. It's
Text
true.
us the top of the screenshot the book, and I'll order that.
Okay.
Another thing is, if I was at that event with Barack Obama, I'd probably be too afraid to ask a question because I don't rub elbows with people like that. So for me, I would kind of be a little bit intimidated. But what I would hope that someone would have asked of him is what is being done to secure votes in districts in like different like cities all across the country, because he was what I do not want. Oh, I'm gonna vote for Kamala. Let's not get this shit twisted. But what I don't want is another Obama administration where, okay, we're great, we're happy, it was legendary, it was historic that you got into the White House, and then you got there and you couldn't do shit because
He did talk about that.
Congress, we were so focused on this election that we weren't even thinking about the lower courts, the local elections, and what have you, Congress, and the whole nine. That we can't do this. We can't do this a second time where she gets into office. If she gets into office, we're going to need shit to happen. We can't have our local jurisdictions, people are voted, the same people over and over being voted in, the same congressmen, the same senators, the same representatives, the same judges, the same district attorneys being voted in, because nothing's going to happen. All we're going to do is be appeased because we have a first woman and a black woman president. And what's going to get done? Nothing.
I mean, stuff still does get done. It's not on the scale that we want, but that's on us.
It's
You
on us.
know, because he has no control.
I would ask that would have been
But
the
that's what
That's
he
on
said.
you.
asked
He's
him.
well. He. I wish I could have recorded so badly because he said when people ask me about that, he said when people ask me about that, we try to get this through, and then he's like, I didn't have the votes. I don't have the votes. And in the Senate, he's like, I didn't have the votes. He's like, they've asked me. He's like, they ask me all the time. And like, well, why couldn't this get done? It's like we tried, but I didn't have the votes. I can't do anything about it. It's not just on the president, to
Mhm.
do it. You
That's
bring the
when we
legislation
say it's on us. We
right.
have to be educated to know these things,
But he did
and I
address.
think
He totally addressed that. He's like, I didn't have the votes. I would love to have done it. Didn't
Really?
have the votes.
The reason why
Yeah.
I asked that is because I literally resigned last year from being the elections commissioner in the city of Brockton, where I live, because I was done with the mayor and all of the elected officials that have been in these seats for years and years. And here I come, and I got elected as one of three elections commissioners. And I'm like, how are we voting on this? Are we voting on this because of, oh, that's my sister, or that's my friend, or that's someone that I know is going to align with me? Or is this what's going to? And when I was there for 3 years, I was like, you know what? Nothing's getting done because I can't do anything. And when I would say to these, I'd go to the polls and talk to the voters and say, I'm one of your elections commissioners. Please, you have to pay attention to your local votes and your local elections. Just because so and so's been sitting in the Senate seat for 15 years, don't be comfortable. He's not looking out for your best interest. He's looking out for his best interest and his longevity and his retirement and so on and so forth. Nobody was listening to me. And finally,
that's what you have that knowledge.
when it came for me to be reelected, because I went to go to be reelected for the 4th year. And when I showed up, this is when I knew politics, this kind of shit just ain't for me because I don't have the temperament for it. I can't play that game because I showed up to be reelected, like reinstated. And one of the senators there was like, I want to bench this, and literally looked me dead ass in my face and was like, no, she talks too much and she's talking to people in the community. Old white ass man. And Shahida, you know where I live. I live in Brockton. We are the majority here. Black, Haitian, Cape Verdean, Dominican, Spanish, Puerto Rican, you name it. And then you got a sprinkle of whites. And them's them whites that literally left South Boston and Savin Hill and in the city of Boston to escape because, it was getting too brown in Boston. So they came to the suburbs back in the day. Now, here we are taking over. And now they don't want us in representing this city. And I know
So is there anybody of color on?
There's only one person of color, Cape Verdean man, Texera, I think is his last name. I forgot what his first name is. Texera. But the mayor is white, Irish.
But that's when you have to, like, when you saying you were trying to talk to people while they're at the, out there to vote, when they're going in the voting booth. You have to partner with organizations, Black organizations, Haitian organizations, and make them aware of it. Just like I told you, I went to a fundraiser the other day, and I was asked to speak at, that fundraiser. Those are the things that we let people be aware of beforehand, like right before you vote, because people have to kind of like percolate on things and think about it for a minute. People don't think about that down ballot,
No.
but you have to. It's not a once in a while thing. ongoing, and it's always being, in places where black and brown people are, and consistently talking to them for them to get the message. I think people are getting the message about down ballots. We see, especially after this year, the last 4 years of dealing with this House of Representatives who have done
Oof.
nothing. Who have done nothing.
Nothing.
I think it's getting through to people. If you really want things to happen, then you have to have a Senate and you have to have a House that is in your favor. And these Republicans, they're not it.
No.
But
Didn't have the vote.
it does come down on us. Like, like President Obama said, we didn't have the votes.
We have the vote.
You don't have the votes if you don't vote for the people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times people think, oh, if you have a Democrat president, they really do want to give the power to the Republican Senate and the Republican, House. They think that balances it out, but it doesn't balance it out. What it does is it causes a deadlock because you can't get anything done.
Yeah.
He was also talking about getting rid of the Rob Reiner asked a question about getting rid of the filibuster.
Rob Reiner?
Yeah.
Oh, isn't he a Trumpster?
No. Rob Reiner's never been a.
Oh, I'm thinking of Schneider. I'm sorry. I'm like, what the hell is
Rob
he doing?
Reiner is not
Rob Reiner. Meatloaf. I'm sorry. Meathead.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we can talk about this all day.
We were talking about the filibuster, how asking Obama about the filibuster and how we need to get rid of it so we can actually do something. That because it was used as a measure to do one thing, but when he said he would try to get stuff passed, they just kept bringing it up and stalling and stalling and stalling, and that's what happened.
When our two fake Democrats, what is it, Manson and the
Manson and that
woman from Phoenix,
Semina.
They killed it. We could have got rid of it this term, but they killed it.
So all I ask is that we, as a whole, I get it. We can never go back. I'm just going to say, as Kamala says, we can never go back. But if we don't want to go back, we can pay attention hard to this presidential election, but we also have to pay attention to our own local elections. Pay attention, watch your TV, go online, do whatever, show up to your local, what do they have? The local, what do they call them things where you go and talk, where you have like the little elected officials that sit there.
Like a forum?
Yeah, I forgot what it's called, but you can go to like your local place in your city and sit there with the mayor and all of the people that have been elected in your city. You can sit there and ask them questions and bring up stuff, and then form your.
If they have those, because a lot of people avoid them now. Those town halls, basically, what you're talking about.
Yes.
A lot of them avoid those now, which is telling. Most of like the person I had, that I did the fundraiser for, of course she's doing it because she wants to be elected. The proof is, and they'll do it when it comes close to election time for them to re-up, but then it's always a select group. By the time you hear about it, it's already full.
Right.
But you do have to constantly. It's unfortunate that you have to do as much work because you are working. These people are working for you supposedly, but you have to be be connected with a group that can do that legwork for you, because there are a lot of people that do that. And then if you connected with that group, at least you're going to get like a newsletter, and it's going to tell you these things, that what is happening in your town, in your city, so that you can be somewhat connected. But you cannot totally depend on that elected official to do that for you. You have to do that legwork yourself.
Here it's all online, where you literally have to subscribe to all of the social media accounts, and that's where you get, where I'm talking about where I live, where you get all of the invites and what's going on. At least I had privy to it when I was an elections commissioner, but I don't have that anymore. So for me now, it's like now I got to be like the average person and go online and see what's going on. But I'll show up and I'm like, why am I paying all these goddamn taxes? But you won't plow my street.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Why am I paying all these taxes? But we gotta pay for our own trash disposal. Why can't you come and put it just because we have a private way? And the city keeps telling us, "Oh, get rid of the private way, and we'll do all that." No,
All right. Well, we are 40 minutes in, so we got another 20 minutes left. Who are we? It's been a crazy week. There's
we
just like
talking
so
about
much,
we talk.
so much. Let's go to Diddy then. But so I'm pretty sure this is going to air tomorrow. This is Sunday. This is, for Monday's episode. Everybody has already heard that Diddy has been arrested by the feds
Damn.
over 10 sexual assault lawsuits and racketeering, conspiracy,
Kidnapping,
sex trafficking,
sex
kidnapping.
trafficking.
He was denied bail.
And
One of the reasons I found
I
out he was
just
denied
heard,
bail.
I was just on X before we logged in, and
Hmm.
apparently, allegedly, he is on suicide watch.
Yes,
They're
I
gonna
can see
Epstein
that.
his ass because we know Epstein didn't kill himself. The powers that be took care of his ass and snuffed his ass out so that they didn't get taken down. Trust me when I tell you, if Diddy dies between tomorrow and whenever he goes to trial, he didn't kill himself. That's all
You
I
know,
got to say.
I don't know. I mean, when you are up here in your life, even the same with Epstein, as far as I'm concerned, you are all the way up here and you have everything.
Unlimited.
Jail. I get it. I'm just offering another opinion. And mine is that for me and like others, if you're all the way up here in your life and in your lifestyle and you have every single thing, and then you watch it just categorically just be erased, and that you're not going to have anything. You have lost the esteem, you have lost your friends, you have lost your money, your placement in society. I see a lot of men, and especially a lot of white men, they will take out their whole families to avoid that type of embarrassment. Talk less of just themselves. So, and it wouldn't be far, a stretch of the imagination that Epstein killed himself, or even Diddy. I hope he doesn't do that. He does have children, and despite what he has done, I'm pretty sure they don't want that to happen to him. So I can see it. I can definitely see it, unfortunately. But anyway, back to, so he's in federal jail. But one of the reasons because I kept saying, why did they deny him bail? Part of me thought because of what Russell Simmons did when he skipped off to Bali, that they were just like, you know what? I think that, we're not going to trust you with that. But also, he was threatening witnesses or trying to bribe some of the witnesses, and they found out. So that was a big part of the reason of why they denied him bail.
And it's on video. I
Yeah.
see Justin Bieber when he met Justin Bieber, and Justin Bieber gets out and they hugs him, and Diddy's patting him down and literally asks him, "You're not wired, are you?" It's like, bro.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Oh, look it up. It's all
I
over
know.
the
I can
place.
imagine. It's just so much. It's like I said, I'm still learning stuff today. I just learned about the bribing stuff today,
Here's,
but the stuff that yeah.
here's my
What's crazy to me with this whole Diddy thing is that, remember when the lawsuit first came out from Cassie,
yeah.
and
The next day,
she said, I gave him so many opportunities to handle this privately. I know he is ruining the day that he decided that his ego was just too big for that and he wasn't going to give her anything, because he could have nipped this in the bud those days when she was willing to handle it privately, just pay me my money. And he said no.
Power, power is
And ego.
more
Ego.
Power and ego.
power is more of a hell of a drug than cocaine, crack, marijuana, everything. It's all about the power. Because what I don't understand is when you get to a point, I watch this stuff, whether it be Epstein or Weinstein or Diddy or R. Kelly, and I'm like, you've worked. Let me talk about the black men, the P. Diddy's, the Bill Cosby's, and the R. Kellys of the world. You've come from nothing. Like you weren't handed anything like a Weinstein or an Epstein or a Trump. You're self-made. Give me the opportunity to get to that level of success and that level of money that I have in the bank, where I got a mansion in Miami, I got a mansion in LA, I've got properties all over the world, I have money here, there, and everywhere, hand over fist, basically a billionaire. I don't need to have parties. If I want to have a get together, I'll have like a little get together with my people that I trust. But I'm not doing the most. I'm going to live a nice quiet life and mind my business. I
You're
can't
you're
do that.
you're muted.
We can't hear you.
But the way you get there in the first place is by doing all the reason why Diddy is Diddy who Diddy is because of all these parties and all the big stuff and being Diddy in general. So
It's
and selling his Ciroc, but you can, I guess, if you want to say that,
too far.
but you can't say that you're not going to change if you have $400 million and the way you got to have $400 million and then go back to I just want to have a simple life. It's very hard
Wanted to have a
to do.
simple life. I said I wanted to have a quiet life. Like I don't need my business out there like that. But if I was on P Diddy's level in a rap mogul, whatever you, and you got to have these parties to promote your brand and promote your liquor and promote whatever, do that shit. But what is the shit with all these children and these mattresses laying around in the middle of your basketball court, in the middle of your compound? It's like, ew. It gives off, ew. Just have a party. And at 11, 12 o'clock, and I know it's LA or Miami, that parties end at 6 a.m. or what have you, but at some point, have the wherewithal to be like, you know what? I'm this rich. I'm this fucking rich. And
It's
I'm
not
this
that
fucking powerful that I'm not going to let it get that far where now I'm fucking with people's lives.
that's how he
That's
got to that point in the first place, though.
it's character. It's a character issue because you, me, and Shahida could be nothing like 30 years ago or 40 years ago when we were kids, but you can't change our character.
Well, one of the things that has always been said about Diddy is way before he was P. Diddy or Puff Daddy or whatever, that he had anger issues, that he was very controlling, he had a huge ego. So this is who
Is
That's why
he
they call
is. But then it developed into much worse. And then, like you say, to your point, once you get past a certain amount of money, and again, it's the power thing, like you said, Tanya. And then, so it's the money, it's the power, and then you already have a kind of tainted character. That only makes it worse. And then let's not get it twisted. There's a lot of drugs involved in that. And he was involved in a lot of drugs. And I hear that, a lot of his failings were due to the drugs. So he's addicted to stuff. So addiction, money, power, the control over the women, the beating them, that's at one point you would have thought he would have somebody could have helped him. Obviously, there was nobody that could help him because definitely not a woman. It definitely wasn't Cassie. It definitely wasn't Kim. It definitely wasn't J Lo. It was his ego. So he was going to do what he was. So this is all, in my opinion, inevitable.
Yes.
Yeah, it was
Just
a
like
matter.
it was,
He knew
just
that.
like with Epstein, inevitable. With Trump,
Kelly,
inevitable. Who are
inevitable.
these people
Bill
who they
Cosby,
started out
inevitable.
as being? So I don't feel as bad. It's unfortunate because he does have all these children. It's unfortunate because he did do a lot for music, an icon in music. You threw it all away. Threw it all away.
And never get too comfortable. When I was watching this shit going down, I'm like, listen to me, Sean, because I'm going to call him Sean now because that's his government name, because that's what they're referring to him now. They ain't calling him Diddy or Puff or Love or P. Diddy. Sean, never get too comfortable in your wealth, in your fame, and in your power, because they will always do the most to take you down. If I was in Diddy's clique, I would be shitting my pants right now. Mary J. Blige. What's the other one there? The one that's dating Kris Jenner. I'll throw Kris Jenner in that. Corey Gamble, that's dating Kris Jenner. Steve Stout. Look at everybody that's friggin' resigning in the wake of this shit. You've got Jay-Z, Neo.
So
Hmm?
Jay-Z, all of them should be shitting themselves. Neo. Then you've got, who's the other one? Trey Songz, even though these people, Usher is having a moment. He just got married, did the Super Bowl, had his residency in Las Vegas. Usher literally, and the reason why I'm saying this is because for years I have been a fan of Jaguar Wright for the longest time since she sang the background vocals on Song Cry with Jay-Z. And then if Jay-Z did a MTV Unplugged, one of the last few MTV Unplugs Jay-Z did. And Jaguar Wright was his background singer on Song Cry. And then all of a sudden I was like, this woman's voice is incredible. Then she came out with some songs of her own and then she disappeared because the bitch didn't know how to bite her tongue. And they've been trying to take this woman, go to YouTube and just YouTube Jaguar Wright and play all of her videos. I've been watching her videos since she disappeared back in the day, and everybody was labeling her as crazy, as disgruntled, as, just, oh, she didn't make it because she's not cute and she's just basic and dot, 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 and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, everything is making sense now. You see this shit that's coming out with Diddy with Cassie's court records? Go watch Jaguar Wright's YouTube videos from 5 to 10 years ago, and that shit aligns. Everybody's going down. I hope I'm gonna say it's safe to assume that Jay-Z and Beyonce got good attorneys, and because they got money, but them Kris Jenner and Corey Gamble, y'all better you see why nobody's talking. Jennifer Lopez. Oh, Shine. Are we remembering Shine back in the day with that whole shooting at that club in New York City where that girl got her face shot up and Shine took the bid for that?
Well, he did admit to it. He did
He
admit that
admitted to it, and
he
he
took
took
the
the
bit
bid.
for Diddy, and that, when he
But
was out,
he
Diddy didn't do anything for him. I know. I remember
did
that.
nothing for him. And that woman, the whole time Shine was in jail, that woman kept saying, that victim kept saying, he didn't shoot me. Puffy shot me. And nothing was done. And
That's
J
messed
Lo
up.
was
I
there.
didn't know that.
I mean,
Hmm?
listen, I hope like I said to you guys when I texted you when this shit came out, there's a whole lot of people in Hollywood, or it's a whole lot of celebrities now shitting themselves, because do you really think that Diddy's gonna take this bid silently? If Diddy goes down, Diddy's gonna get on the stand and Diddy's gonna sing like a fucking bird. Diddy ain't R. Kelly. This is way bigger than R. Kelly. And
I don't know who you think, Chris.
He's taking everybody
Bigger than
down
R. Kelly?
with old ass Clive ass, raggedy ass Davis. Clive Davis ain't shit neither. He's another pedophile.
Because Diddy's been covering up and paying off and doing all that kind of stuff for years. And now it's starting to creep back, like the Meek Mill fucking being fucked with Diddy, and the bodyguard has the audio tape of him being fucked outside the door.
What?
His bodyguard, I sent it to you. His bodyguard has audio years ago, had audio of drugging Meek Mill and Diddy fucking him behind the closed door, and had the audio tape, and then say, "You didn't believe me before. Now y'all believe me." I'll send it to you.
And
I mean, so all these things were starting to creep out. People are starting to, who are afraid.
It's all starting to make sense.
And basically raped him.
I'll send you the thing.
And on top of that, pull the video. Everybody thought Neil's girlfriend or baby mama was crazy when she videotaped him sitting in a chair, and she was cussing. She's like, "Go ahead, Diddy Jr., with all your freak offs and everything." That everybody thought she was crazy and thought she was a disgruntled baby mama. Now it's all making sense. Then there's a video.
So Neo was doing the same as.
Thing. So then there's another video that's out there. All you got to do is go on YouTube and find it. There's another video out there with Odell Beckham Jr. that's at a Diddy party, and it's him. Trey Songz is next to him, and there's this like kid in a hoodie that's kind of like on his knees, but then gets up and clearly looks inebriated, like he was like, doing the whole ding ding. And it's Justin Bieber. Then go look at Justin Bieber's latest interview that he did probably like 6 months ago. I think he did it on 60 Minutes or something. And they were talking about all of the whole him coming up with Diddy, and he was shaking his leg. He was disturbed, and he looked clearly a mess, talking about,
he was like, okay.
Nobody had my back. I was a child. I was thrown to the wolves.
That's what he said?
And he said all of that. And I was like, there's a reason why Justin Bieber is the way that he is. And Jaguar Wright has been screaming this for years. Usher should be in jail with Diddy and everybody else, because basically Usher is the one who was helping Bieber. He found him on YouTube and was like, "I'm going to help you become a star." And he basically handed him over to Diddy, knowing that Diddy ain't shit. Because how does he know that Diddy ain't shit? Because he was handed over to Diddy as a 14, 15-year-old. But I look at here, where's your fucking parents? Usher, you out there, glorifying your mama, talking about, "Oh, my mama's my girl, my best thing in the whole wide world." Where the fuck was she when you was getting your ass handed to you by the likes of Usher and Justin Bieber's mom? Where the fuck were you, bitch, when your son was over there getting groomed by all these pedos? I don't like that. I'm sorry. I'm passionate about shit like that. I don't give a fuck who the fuck you are. You just should never, ever take advantage of people like that. And when you do that to children, there is a special place in hell for you for that. So I don't feel sorry for Diddy.
Oh, God, no. Nobody. I just don't know all the stories. And I'm glad.
There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes out.
Yeah, because
I implore you to go on YouTube and just search Jaguar Wright and just there are videos from years ago till present day, because now she done resurfaced and she is like, everybody
I
should be
bet you she's talking a lot now, huh?
dropping all the gems, and she's not lying. Everybody thought she was crazy and thought she was some disgruntled woman or disgruntled artist that didn't get the come up, but she was there. And another person that needs to be drug out, if she's still alive, is Lori Ann Gibson. She's another one that needs to be pulled out of the trenches and be a witness. Remember her from Making the Band? Oh, I watched all that shit back in the day. Remember Making the Band? She was his
I remember Making the Band.
I think it was Lori Ann Gibson, black woman. She was a choreographer.
Yeah.
And there was a specific episode of Making the Band. I think it was Making the Band. Or I think it was, I think they would, I'm not Making the Band, but I think it was some other reality show on MTV that Diddy did.
Yeah, I kind of remember.
Just search Lori Ann Gibson, Diddy, and Michael Bivins, and it'll show you the whole thing. She was the only person that stood up to him because they were having like an audition, like she was like showing these guys that they were trying to make a boy band, and she gave them a choreography like no less than 24 hours. And Diddy was mad because the guys didn't have the choreography right. And he's like, why am I here? I'm supposed to eliminate a couple of people, but you only taught them this choreography last night. And she's like, because if they're professionals, they should get it. And he wasn't trying to hear it. So now he tells the guys to go in the lobby or whatever out there in the room outside of the dance studio, and it's her, Diddy, and Michael Bivins, because Michael Bivins was part of that. And he starts going in on her, threw a chair at her, and he's like, you listen to me. I can't, I'm the decision maker. It's the power trip. And she kept fighting him back. She's like, you will not talk to me like that. You ain't gonna disrespect me. He's like, you show me respect. She's like, you show me respect. She went in on him, and she's like, and he's like, well, if you're not gonna do your job, we'll just get another choreographer tomorrow. She's like, great. She got her bag and she's walking out. He couldn't handle that because he's a narcissist, and he starts going in at her, and she's like, fuck you, motherfucker. You just go pull up the video and watch it. And I have zero respect for Michael Bivins. I love me some Michael Bivins, but when I saw that shit, I have zero respect for him because Michael Bivins is like all Team Diddy and all up in Lori Ann Gibson's face, talk about and following. She's like, fuck you, nigga, I'm out. And she's walking out, and Diddy's throwing shit and having a tantrum. He's following her out, talking about, come back. What are you doing? This and that. I was like, Lori Ann Gibson.
A lot of it is fear too. People are afraid of Diddy because he has stuff on them. He would do stuff to them. So you may want to stand up to him, but he's got some.
He's violent.
He operates that way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it was Tupac being killed or, you know, Biggie B. Remember, you look at all the people who are associated with him between Heavy D, Christopher Williams,
Andre Harrell,
Albie Shore, Andre Harrell, like Kim Porter, people who died mysteriously or, you know, got really sick.
Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
Albie Shore lived to tell the tale because he's still alive. Jamie Foxx lived to tell the tale because he's still alive. But you got Andre Harrell, Kim Porter, Heavy D. All of them were part of that Uptown. Mary J. Blige is still alive. Why? Because I'm assuming Mary J. Blige. I believe Jaguar right. Mary J. Blige was part of the problem. She was going to do whatever the hell she had to do to get that fame and get that money.
So, yeah, he's going down.
He's going down. The powers that be are going to take him.
It depends on if he's going to sing. How much is he going to sing? Who's he going to sing about?
That's what
and if he's trying to save his ass.
But he's like the ringleader, so he what kind of deal is he gonna get? I
Well,
don't
he could
see
get
him
like
still
20
getting a
years. He
deal.
could get like 20 years shaved off because what they're talking about now, like the RICO case and all of the
Mhm.
trafficking, for each indictment right now, he's looking at 3 bids of 20 years. So 246. He's our age.
But what I'm saying is like he's the ringleader. He's the top. He's the top.
Yeah, but at the end of the day,
Yeah, but he can give
they
a lot
always
of.
want to take somebody else down, and you already know we are black people, and you know these people, they're good with us being successful and having a little bit of power, but when we start acting like them, then we got to take them down a notch. Motherfucker, I just watched Origin yesterday. I already know about this whole caste system.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's messy.
Ooh, yeah. I
And we'll
guess
talk
you just,
about that and on
It's
another
messy.
podcast because I really want to delve into this whole Origin cast. That shit had me fucked up yesterday,
Yeah,
and
it was a
so
good.
much so that I was in the fetal position for like 30 minutes and couldn't even gather myself together. And
I thought she should
then
have been nominated for Best Actress.
she
She
should
was
have
amazing.
won Best Actress. That should have won Best Picture. Niecy Nash should have won co-actress or whatever you call that, Best
oh, she
Supporting
was in that
Actress.
too? Okay.
Listen,
I'm
I
gonna
listen.
saw this. I saw the screening and they talked afterwards.
The man
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
who's
I
the
sent
man
it to
that
you
played her husband, who
Bring him back.
last year.
I have a crush on him, even though I
John
will never
Bernthal.
be the white man.
John Bernthal.
John Bernthal. He was everybody in that movie was superb.
Yep.
But when you kept saying to me, Chris, it's a heavy watch, I was like, yeah, I blew it off. I'm gonna be honest with you. I kind of blew it off. I'm like, please, I've
Okay.
seen some heavy shit. As soon as I sat down and did this first play, and then when it started out with the Trayvon Martin, I was like, oh, I know where this is going. And then I was appalled. Shahida, you watch it?
No, oh no. I
You
have
gotta
not
watch
watched.
it. I'm not gonna say anymore. Will you just watch the damn movie?
I am. I
And
have
then
to
we'll
Trying to
go.
tell
talk
you
about
to
it.
watch this man for over a year now. For
Who?
over a year, I've been trying to tell both of you
I
to
know.
watch
I
that
watched it
damn movie
yesterday. I
for
watched
over
it
a
yesterday.
year.
I watched
No,
it yesterday.
and I remember telling you then, no.
Oh,
Yeah,
you didn't want to see it then?
I was a little nervous.
Because I already knew what it was. And it's like, I have to do these things in bits and
It's
pieces. And
hard.
I
Facts.
knew
Hard.
that that was going to be hard. You see what
You get angry.
And
Yeah, it's hard.
the reason why I watched it yesterday, because I've been putting it off. I kept telling you guys I was going to watch it, and I kept putting it off because what happened yesterday, like today, yesterday was a gray, rainy, gloomy ass day, and my house was dark, and I was like, okay, I'm going to come and I'm going to watch it because I'm like,
Mm,
Chris said it was heavy.
oh, it was
And
that type of
I
thing.
was in this darkness, bawling my eyeballs out,
it's hard.
ready to assassinate whoever stepped on my doorstep that didn't look like me or you. And I
It's
was
hard.
like, nah, I'm gonna stay in my house. I'm gonna go to Costco. But I in public yesterday after watching that shit.
It's hard.
I ordered the books. I ordered the
You
book.
should you should order The Warmth of Our Sons too. That's
I'll get
the
to
other book
that.
that you
I'm a slow reader, so
that one is
I
super
ordered
long.
Deep South that was in the movie, that were the characters in the movie, that is real, and I ordered at the cast. So I'm gonna read cast first, and then I'll read Deep South while my sister-in-law is going to when me and my sister-in-law walk out to sit by the pool and I pull out my book, and she's gonna be like, what the hell are you reading? I thought you was gonna bring
It's
some.
kind of hard to tell what it is by the.
She's gonna be like, I thought you was gonna bring some Harlequin romance like me, and I'll be like, bitch, watch your mouth.
It's hard to tell what it is by just the cover. It's very plain.
Oh well, she'll know if I see if I pull out Deep South. I'm bringing both of them with me because I'm gonna be sitting on the beach doing nothing but drinking and reading.
No,
Anyway.
see, I would be reading a beach thriller. I cannot.
Oh no, I'm gonna read. This is gonna be my beach read. My beach read. Yes.
Well, enjoy.
All right.
Well, anyway, we have come to that time. I mean, we miss Mark Robinson, Shannon Sharp,
Oh, we
Oh,
can get
Mark,
to that.
the TV shows.
We can
What?
get to that because I also want to talk about someone asked Tiffany Ash Haddish that showed her ass on New York
Well,
Fashion.
why don't we do a special one this week? Because I know Chris
Home.
has to. Chris has to go. I'm home, so we
Chris, oh
maybe
yeah,
two.
Chris, oh,
He has a lot to do. Lot
a
to do.
lot to do.
So, all right. Until next time. This has been the
Can't
Tanya Show.
nobody take my pride. Can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I got to keep on
You're
moving.
gonna get us banned for even singing the song, girl.
right?
Just say
Yeah,
goodbye.
yeah.
Good night. Good
Bye.
day.
Chris
Now
sent us
enjoy
pictures
the
of
week.
the party. Bye. Love you guys.
Still